won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something,
I won't give up till I'm on top.
yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now
What up? What up? What is up? Welcome into Pregaming here on Sports Money. Monday through Friday, you'll find us here at 6 p.m. breaking down the card, sharing my best bets, talking about your best bets, trying to find the bets that we can use to beat the books. That's what we're here to do tonight. We've got ourselves a full Major League Baseball card. Full disclosure, I woke up this morning, I gave it a once over, as I do every morning, and I said, I love this card. I'm excited about it. I got to be careful because it's only the second series back from the All-Star break, but we'll talk a little bit about that. We've got ourselves 45 days till the NFL. That'll be a Thursday night football kickoff, and you'll find it right here, live on Sports Money. 33 days until the college week 0. Iowa State's going to pop off in that first game for college football, just like that. We've turned the corner. In fact, speaking of corner turns, we're about 20 days away from Dana White Contender Series, and we will go live for those on Tuesday. Let's not forget how Dana White Contender Series works. There's about 5 fights every week, usually about 10 weeks. And your boy, Mikey Money, put up 26 units in 1 week on 5 fights. It was sick. It was stupid. We're going to be back. We're going to look to do it again. Matter of fact, I was talking and doing some planning with MMA Jeff just this afternoon. Just this afternoon, getting ready to go and launch as we get ready for the fall lineup. Football's coming, and I cannot wait. Dana White Contender Series is coming. Cannot wait. Speaking of combat, what a combat weekend. Them naysayers, they don't want to buy into stats, trends, cash flow line splits, and we've been here before. Not saying we were the first ones to come out with the cash flow splits, but while they were arguing where does it come from, we were just embracing it. And it has been the key to our success, the foundation to the mountain of beat the bookie that we are climbing on a daily basis. And it's ringing true again in UFC. The old guard better take note. You better take note. Them dogs get bet on game day. We heard that from our friend Andrew Babakitis. We saw it evidenced this weekend. Favorites, go ahead. You want to bet them on game day? Probably not going to be a good result for you. Probably just saying. You don't need to know much about fighting. Just look at the results. Now, there were some big favorites. Bruno Ferreira, minus 550, minus 600, whatever. Dude wins. Ryan Spann on game day, minus 185, minus 200s, gets bet up to minus 225s, minus 230s. He goes out there and buffed up Bresky. Game day, favorite movement, not dog, favorite. Okay. We'll take that one as a one-off. Spann was going to win that one. We cashed that in the first round. Now, there are some fights to take note of. Specifically, we look at, again, some of these big favorites, we'll pull them out of the pile. Let's look at Francisco Prado. Veretennikov catches the steam right up till the fight. That's the dog. That's the dog, Nikolai Veretennikov. He gets the W. Now, we look at some other spots. Marvin Vittori. Steam going against him on game day. He gets busted up by Brandon Allen. Just saying. Just saying. A lot of love all week long for Kyler Phillips. The dog. What happens come game day? They're betting on Oliveira. Guess who wins? Oliveira. Dog getting steamed early in the week does not mean you bet on it. You're not saving any money. Patricio Pitbull. The fight heard around the world. That gives me 2-0 in UFC. Plus 185 again. Dropped down to around 162 or so. Right before he popped off. That means they were betting the dog on fight night. Dog wins. And it goes on and on and on. And that's the way it goes. There's some evidence. There's some case studies for those naysayers that want to continue to doubt it. Doesn't mean it rings true for everything. But we do have to take note, as our friend has taught us from Vegas, if they're betting the dog on game day, it's probably sharper money. Bigger limits. They've got the best of the line. They let the public steam away. Now, speaking of, I don't know if it's steam. It's spicy. It's hot. WNBA. What's wrong with you girls? I said this a week ago, 2 weeks ago. They announced the future host cities. Cleveland, Detroit, Philadelphia. And who was it? Sophie Cunningham saying, I think it was Sophie Cunningham. I don't want to get it wrong. But I think it was Sophie Cunningham that was like, I don't know who's going to want to go play in Detroit and Cleveland. The fuck's wrong with you, girl? That's your bread and butter. That's your meal ticket. You support the cause. You don't go out there and be an asshole, shit talk the expansion. You take everybody's fun and enthusiasm out of expansion before it happens. Now, these geniuses had the idea to get together. Again, the Caitlin Clark hate is absolutely astounding because that is your meal ticket. She's growing the game for you. She's making like 10 times more than everybody else because of her endorsements with Nike and such. You decide to hate on her because you decided to have a CBA meeting right before the All-Star game. And you all unanimously decide that you should pay us what you owe us. Listen, it's not a hot take, but what is wrong with some of these girls? And I'm picking on them particularly because we saw the same thing in soccer. And the dollar values in soccer showed that it was the men that were earning. You were making what you should. Now, meritocracy, those gals were winning. If it was me, I would personally, hot take here. I would take all men's soccer out of the U.S. I'd give all that money to the girls. They've earned it. But the WNBA is subsidized by the NBA. And I was looking at they're running a $45 million deficit, $45 million deficit every single season. If you strike, stupid, your owners are actually making money. Or they're not losing money, in which case they might as well be making money. And this becomes the proverbial question. If the tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound? In other words, you're probably dismissed. Maybe the WNBA doesn't come back in the same degree that it is today. Don't strike. Don't be stupid. Pay us what you owe us. Technically, all you girls owe your owners something like $350,000 a year. You owe them. Take those fucking shirts off. Stop being stupid. Get on board with the WNBA. Stop trying to be a thorn in the... Start embracing Caitlin Clark while you're at it. The fuck? What's wrong with these? It pissed me off when I saw that. Now, you're certainly free to speak your mind. You want to wear a shirt to support the cause, that's fine, but don't be stupid. You know, Angel Reese is my girl. You guys know I like those long eyelashes. Here's the question I have. She can't make enough money in the NBA season, WNBA season, with the money with the contract that she has to afford her Chicago apartment. What's she going to do if they go on strike? How are you going to make that money? You can become I don't know. What are you going to do? I don't know. Last but not least, I'll shout out Raising Cane's. I have become a fan of Raising Cane's. Shout out to them. They have endorsed Livy Dunn. She's swimming around in the pool, floating on the raft, and she's eating chicken fingers. And I thought, as I saw it, I said to myself, got to give them chicken fingers another chance. Shout out to Livy Dunn. Big endorsement deal out there. Smashing down chicken fingers while she's swimming in the pool. Just looks like a good time. So that's my weekend assessment of what's going on here. So we got to take note. Don't be a hater, I think, is the general rule of thumb across the board. And I'm not saying you guys are haters. I'm just saying in general, embrace new thinking philosophies. Be a sponge. Absorb it when it comes to things like talking about the UFC. Hey, I learned it. I put it in play 2 weeks in a row. Bang, 2 + 185s. If you're the WNBA, don't be stupid. You may very well go on strike, and we all realize we don't need you. And last but not least, Shout out to Raising Cane's and their new sponsor. Appreciate that process and what that looks like. Now, we've got some work to do here because we are down to this wire here. Second half of the Major League Baseball season. You guys see the card here. I added a game as well. We'll get involved in quite a few spots. We'll look at cash flow, line splits, and all the rest. The Orioles and the Guardians will pop our card off. The Padres and the Marlins. I'm going to tell you right now, I got a problem. And we'll come back to it. I'm not going to touch that Red Sox-Phillies game. I do like the Phillies team total over 4.5. I was on that yesterday with a parlay piece, and they fucked me. Can I go back to it again? The Reds and Nationals, we're going to go back to Daddy's favorite trend. Yankees and Toronto Blue Jays. No action for me in that game. I'd probably lean the Blue Jays. Why is the cash coming in on the Yankees? The line's moving against them. And who the hell's Toronto with Gossman? Now, I don't like Gossman. You guys know that. So I can't get involved in that game. Do have action in the Angels and Mets. Maybe 2 spots in that game. Braves and Giants. Be careful. Saw, who was it yesterday? Was it Acuna that got hit in the wrist out of the game? Questionable for this game. Be careful. Not involved. The over looked like a good play. I say stay away. Oh, sometimes this brain does get functioning quickly. Going to tie together a large parlay. Kansas City and the Cubs game. Going to get into the Athletics and Rangers game. 18-0 trend on the line. We talked about it on Saturday. It cashed 4.5 or 4 runs. Going back to it. And then we'll cap her off with the Brewers and Mariners 2 plays in that game as well. We might as well pop this card off while we get ready for it. I believe this is the key to our success process here is being consistent. Got to be consistent. We might as well start it right off with a 27.5 to 1 parlay. Jose Ramirez, 2+ hits, runs, and RBIs. James Wood, 2+ hits, runs, RBIs. Bryce Harper, 2+ hits, runs, RBIs. And Aaron Judge, 2+ hits, runs, RBIs. Going to go to Joe Adell for the Los Angeles Angels. 1+, just 1. Hits, runs, and RBIs. That means if he gets walked and he does get a base, we still have an opportunity. Flaherty, we're going to go 6+ strikeouts for Flaherty. And then we're going to go 6+ strikeouts for Woodruff out there in that Milwaukee game. Algonquin for the good land. 27.5 to 1 for that parlay as well. So we'll keep that on the screen, you guys. I don't know if I missed anything in the world of sports over the weekend, but I'm excited to hear it from you guys. Like I said, we've got ourselves a big card, a big week. And we're going to close the gap a little. Yesterday was not the best day in the world. I think we're down like 3 units on the day. So that sucks. Just laughing thinking about it. It's not funny. It sucks. But it's like, what the fuck? Kansas City under 7.5 in that Miami game. Yeah, we won the San Diego Padres game. That's fine, right? But I to me, the losses count more than the wins, if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody but me, but I know on Saturday, I was on an island when I said I think about the losses more than I think about the wins. 7-0 is that Kansas City game. In the 8th inning with 2 outs. Guess what? Fucking Marlins. 4 worthless. Well, they scored 2 runs first. And then it became over, not under. So it didn't matter what happened after that. Cincinnati ties the game up. Here's something to notate with the New York Metropolitans. You got 3 parts of the game. First 3 innings, middle 3 innings, last 3 innings. Mets, really good in the first 3, really good in the second, the bottom 3, suck in the middle 3. That's live betting data for you guys to utilize. Contemplate, consider it, take a look across the board. They got a decent bullpen, but their early relievers suck. They're just not good. And these bats are inconsistent for the Mets. So if you're going to look to live bet the Mets, don't panic if you're on a side like Cincinnati and they go down early. Because come like 6th inning, you're in a good 5th, 6th inning. They leave their pitchers in too long. They get touched up. Their relievers come back in. They can't pull them out of it. And then maybe they finish the game strong. I don't know. But that's something to keep in mind. We lost that game 3-2. Because the bottom 9. The bottom 3. The 9th inning, as a matter of fact. Another crushing L, if you will. 2-1. Texas, Detroit. Detroit. Look, you can look at the numbers and you can say it was Detroit. They won the game 2-1. Why are you betting minus 180s on Detroit? What did they do in this series to show you that you should be? In fact, Texas Rangers scoring runs in bunches, finding a way to put results on the board. There was 1 run scored in that series for the Tigers going into that game. They scored 3 runs that series. So what you probably had to do is you probably had to lay the -1.5. Why? Well, in case they lose, it keeps the juice down. You lost. Good job. I lost on the Texas Rangers. The run line did cash a little live bet there on the Texas Rangers. And we did win the, actually, I guess it was only two units that we lost yesterday in hindsight here. We did win the under 4.5 strikeouts with Jake Lutz. I think he had 3. 3 was his total. So cashed to close her off. So just under 2 units yesterday. Got some room to make up. But I do think that there's lessons to be learned in these losses, right? We don't want to learn by losing before we figure out how to win. We've already done that. We've already been there. We've got 20 years of that plus. But hey, that Kansas City game was that 9th inning was the difference between, just kind of pushing on the day and then being down a little bit. So all good. Still sporting over 105 units. Nobody's gonna be able to say they did it like us. It's absolute. Why are we different? Because we do it for flat betting, right? 1 unit is $100. Put $100 on every game. You want to make your unit $200, that's fine, but just keep it at $200. No 3%, 4%, 5%. Just keep it the same. No game should count any more than any other. I don't care if you think you have the edge or not. Just how this way this rat race works. And you'll see some guys that are chasing their losses. The next day they'll have a 5 unit. The next day after that loss, they'll have a 10 unit fucking whale, cock, block, sock, bach, smash spot of the day. Good for them. That's not how we do it. We just stay consistent. We scrub the card. We work hard. We're winning at a high rate. And, organically, naturally, without chasing any steam, without any live bets, without any Fugazi parlays or any other bullshit in there, we're up over 105 units. Now, we do have almost 65 units in parlay wins, including a 39-1 a couple weeks ago. But, put those aside for the measuring stick purposes here. We're ready to roll with the second half. Like I said, I'm fired up for this card today. You guys know the deal. It's that time of the show. You got to show some love. We need your love. We need your support. Probably the summertime is why it's been down. I mean, I've never been one of those flashy, we're 4-1 in our last 5. I always think that's horse shit. Candidly, if you're hitting at 60% and you're 4-1 in your last 5, you're probably due to go 2-3. So I don't want to jinx myself because I do believe in the jinx. And I do think that mathematics, that's just a fact. But I wonder if posting more 4-1 in the last 5s gets Twitter buzzing. I hate it. I don't believe in it. Maybe I'll have to do it. Either way, we need you guys to show the support so I don't have to do that. Keep me out of flipping burgers at McDonald's with Angel Reese by smashing that thumbs up button here. We're in show. Post show, you guys know the deal. You smash out there, you leave some comments, talk about your favorite plays. In show, you smash that thumbs up button and we'll get this thing started. Going to post the winnable link out there as well. You guys know that we have moved over. We were doing some things here that just weren't panning out. We weren't getting the love. So we moved them over. Moved them over to Winnable. A free option does exist over there on Winnable. All you have to do is sign up. You have the ability to get a text alert with my free plays. I'll give you a premium play that I just put out there about 5 minutes ago. Well, right before the show started. I'm going to go to the men's tennis. I got Vukic. Big line movement out there. ATP Washington starts here probably in about 5 minutes. Text alerts have been sent out. So if you are a follower over there on Winnable, you got it. It's sitting around 140 right now. 6:30 start. So you got about 10 minutes. Alexander Vukic over Giovanni Pericard. ATP Washington, 6:30 start. I went into Winnable. I put ATP play. I selected daily best bets, and I hit send. And then what happens is the recipients downstream get a text message. It tells them to go to the spot, pick it up, get to about, here's the deal, here's the play. See if you want to play. And that's how that thing works. So make sure you guys do take some time to sign up if you haven't done so already. free text alerts. And then, of course, we do appreciate the support. You guys have plenty of packages out there running the special now. If you sign up for a month, I'll give you the rest of July for free. You'll be extended through the end of August, which is huge because we have preseason starting in just about a week. So let's go. You guys know the deal. My favorite part of the show. Let's talk about these best bets. Shout out to all you guys that are here. Get the pen and paper ready. Kenny Woods here. Bo Jackson says he's at the Jays game tonight. Jays are going for a franchise record 11 straight home wins. I like that Jay spot tonight. I do. I know it's 11, and when they get over 10, I get nervous. But Damon Waring's here. He likes the Guardians. Let's go. Jay Main's ready to go. Damon Waring likes the Pirates first 5. There's Barry in the house. Gerald Jones says, we back. Let's go. Best bet. Tigers Pirates first 5 under 3.5. And those best bets are 55 and 50 for our guy, Gerald Jones. Damon Waring says the Phillies minus 1.5. Stern Company says Phillies, Tampa, money line, parlay. Yes. Sure. Yes, bounce back spot for Phillies. 21-0 spot for Tampa Bay. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Damon Waring likes the Astros. Shout out to Stop Geoengineering. Damon likes the Rockies. Bo Jackson does say the Blue Jays. He's going to lock it down. The Blue Jays tonight going for number 11. Damon Waring says the Brewers. Woodruff over 5.5 and 6.5 strikeouts. That's why I got the 6+, my dude. There's Gonzo's in the house. He's rocking with us here tonight. Let's go, you guys. Damon Waring likes the Braves money line. Gonzo's on Cleveland and Miami. You guys can check out his action at Model Ranger over on X. He's posting some daily plays over there for you guys. Damon Waring likes the Marlins. Andrew G says, wow. We got a power ranking. Our first power ranking. Baltimore plus 1.5. Number 10, Tampa plus 6.5. 20th, Dallas. What am I looking at here? Dallas plus 8. Fuck Dallas. 30th. Dallas should be 30th. Oh, these are team totals, I guess, right? These are team win totals? No, it can't be. I'm not sure what that is, Gerald Jones. Hit me back with that. I might be slow today. I definitely was a little slow earlier today. Might have smacked my head a little bit when I was doing the morning stretching. Jamie says we need a Philly team. Cedric's here, ready to go. Dana Delp says they're so dumb. And they add more teams. Yes, you guys, I think you're Redbeards. What we ran about? Ran about the WNBA is what we were doing. Says Angel's a bum. Dale fixes potty mouth today. I think I waited to the 8-minute mark. I think I did. Fernando Mendoza's here. Irish King. San Fran, Atlanta over 9.5. J Main likes Ryan O'Hearn over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Dana Dupp says Nerfy parlay anybody. I would put the Dodgers in the Nerfy. There is a parlay boost out there for one of those sites too. So I would put the Dodgers in a Nerfy. I think they've got 8-1 in their last 9 to the Nerfy. Something to that effect. Maybe it's 8-0. J-Man likes the Wheelers first 5 opportunity there with the Fightin' Phils. Shout out to Old E says, what's good to Redbeard? J-Man says, I like that. Besides Woods been struggling. Peter Gracia is ready to roll. Says, driving but listening. Redbeard says he took the pads tonight. Top 3 home run. Got to go to Aaron Judge. Got to look at an Aaron Judge home run. Jose Ramirez home run. Andrew G. You remember the losses more than the wins? Fuck yeah, I do. That's the story of my life, dude. Hard. It's hard living. There's no celebrating anything around this place. We're going to talk about those losses, even if you did win. Phillies, Reds. Phillies Nerfy parlay for Dana Delp with the bonus. There's Gorky like Sakari Collins. Money line. Here we go. Redbeard says, no way I touched the Finns pre-flop in this market. J-Man likes Caminero to send Sean Burke fastball to the moon. That's probably not a bad look at all. Nathan Cernas. Low. I like a Brandon Lowe spot. I don't know if Brandon Lowe's playing or not tonight, though. Nathan Cernas says, ran it up, $300. Offer quad aces. Stayed too long, lost it all. Yeah, that happens. That does happen. You guys are ready to go. I'm ready to go. Hey, yo, new sub here. Let's get all dubs today. Let's go. Hey. Do one money line pick for each game. Sports betting Patrick, the groovy alien. Skunt Blaster. Our Skunt Bag play of the day is in, you guys. The Skunt Blaster play of the day. That's still one of my favorite play of the day names. C-Day. And the under 4.5 at same game parlay plus 110. Minnesota Twins money line plus 145. Jerry Davis says, yeah, I took him on the money line. Vucic. I'll put it in the chat for you guys here. A little bit of late movement though. Did come in against, but that's fine. That's fine. I'm going to get to going here. All right, I'm going to start with this first game. Look, I got a problem. I told you guys this from the get-go. And no, it's not gambling. It's funny. Gambling's not a problem. Gambling is my gambling keeps me sane. I'm ready to go. Here's what I think about this game. What the fuck are you doing looking at the Miami Marlins? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Now, I could be wrong. In fact, the entire planet is on the Miami Marlins today, right now. And why? You have to ask yourself, why? Well, let's look at the cash flow splits here. We got this thing rolling. Minus 132's moved to minus 138, but you have 51% of the bets and 51% of the cash on the San Diego Padres. This total's moved from 8 to 8.5. It has come back to 8s now. We're seeing some late buying on this total coming down. 88% of the bets, 85% of the cash. I think I know why. We'll talk about it here in just a second. It's Yuri Perez. And I think this explains why the entire Twitterverse is on the Miami Marlins. First of all, whenever all of Twitter is lined up on a sub 500 team, you either fade or pass. That's it. Your only options. Fade or pass. Now, Perez got that 3.18 ERA. That could be problematic out there. Then you look on the other side of things, and it's Randy Vasquez that's going to start. That's going to start on the side of things for this San Diego Padres side of things. And I think that's got to be the reason. So if that's the reason, it's Miami first 5, not full game, because the bullpen advantage lies with the San Diego Padres, right? I talked to you guys. I spent a lot of time in the All-Star break looking at the third. I broke the games down into the thirds and identifying starters, relievers, and closers, or bullpens, right? And I think based on that metric, that factor, but here's the deal. Dude's already pitched against Miami and he mowed him down. He went into the 7th inning. All you could ask for is the dude, your starter, to go into the 7th inning. And they left him in too long. He got hit. 6 hits, 3 earned runs, only 1 homer, and he only had 5 strikeouts. So I get it. You look at his month of July, he's still giving you 5 innings, and he's only getting hit 4 times. It's a problem. Furthermore, the team has won 4 straight starts for this young buck. His last start, though, left a little to be desired. And I think that's where the recency bias comes into play here. He only went 4.1 innings. He got hit 5 times, 2 earned runs, 1 strikeout. In fact, the strikeouts are down. No doubt about it. Strikeout rate is down. So, I'm telling you this. My problem is when I see all of Twitter on there, I'm immediately, if I see plays before I get a chance to even, I'm already thinking fade. What's being seen that's so easy and obvious that the entire planet's decided to jump it on Miami? And Miami resides in the NL East. They might be the worst team in the NL East. Maybe the Nationals. Either way, both the Nationals and the Marlins have found themselves picking up more wins than losses in this last 15-game sample. So you're buying the Miami Marlins at an absolutely worst time that you could buy them in the book. Doesn't mean they don't win the game. It just, in my estimation, means it's the worst time to be buying on the Miami Marlins. So I'm going to take this San Diego Padres. I'm going to take them at plus money. The NL West smacks the NL East like they're their daddies. That's the first thing you need to know about this process. Batting wise, San Diego's offense 17th in WRC plus. Miami is 21st. Recency exposure. The problem you've got if you're Miami are 2 big bats that are awake. And they smacked that other NL East team, Mackenzie Gore, Manny Machado, and Xander Bogaerts. You're in trouble. Furthermore, how about this little ditty? If the team is playing the Marlins in game 1 of a season, they overestimate the travel bias If a team played in the Eastern or Central time zones and their first game of the series is against the Marlins, you're 495 and 350 over almost 1,000 games sampled to bust up them Marlins. Why? Because theoretically they have the starting pitching advantage on the road team. And so all those kind of factor. Now, I know Yuri Perez is playing phenomenal. Let me talk to you about some under trends here. Miami's got themselves in an 8-0 under trend. They're staying under the total by over 3 runs. If they were down at least 5 runs the previous game, they're staying under that following game because they're just not scoring. They're just not generating enough offense. San Diego's 12-0 if they're a non-divisional dog. Total's greater than a 7, and they smashed a home run the previous game out there. Not expecting to be ultra low. That non-divisional factor where there's lack of familiarity against these opponents that generates lower scoring results. And I really could give you a strong look to that Miami under as well in this game. It was 8.5. As I mentioned, it's starting to come down to 8. I'm taking the Padres. I'm fading all of Twitter. And I might be on an island. And I don't care. Just can't do it. Yeah. Redbeard says the NL West smacking the Mets too, brother. Smacking the Phillies and smacking the Mets. I don't have a graphic for this one, but I'm going to go to game number 2 for you guys here. This was a late ad for me on the card. Sometimes that happens. We'll keep her moving quickly. As we're looking at this card here, there's a big sharp consensus coming in on the Orioles. The line opened at -142. Here's the thing, though. It's oscillating. When I say oscillating, I mean it's come down 7 cents on the Guardians side of things, but it's gone up 3 cents on the Orioles side of things. So -142, now -135 for Cleveland. +120 for Baltimore, now +123 for Baltimore. What you have going on here is 66% of the bets. So the majority of tickets are being written for Cleveland. But the bigger money's coming in on the Baltimore dog spot. So I think at first pass here, the sharps are looking at this thing saying, this is too big a number to pass up against the Guardians. The Guardians, you shouldn't be laying $1.35. I kind of get it. The only difference to me is that this comes down to the starting pitching again, kind of like we talked about with that last game. You don't want to put your money on Sagano. It's not a rhetorical question. It's a straight answer. You don't want to put your money on Sagano. He kind of started out well, but once the tape comes out on some of these young guys, they just shit the bed. And if you want evidence in it, 7 starts, 27 runs, his last 31 innings pitched. He's given up almost an inning, or he's given up almost a run an inning. It's going to be a problem. 49 hits, 24 strikeouts in that same period of time. So he's getting out hit over 2-1. Ducks on the pond, giving up runs, shaky at best for Baltimore. And we've seen Baltimore's not the same team that they were last year. You know, the other side of things is Tanner Bybee. He's not having the best season by far. 4.29 ERA for his get up and go. But, you know, Cleveland's kind of played like shit at home. Here's the thing I look at. They're 22-24 at home. Traditionally, teams play better at home than on the road. Basic element of the way the game works, right? Unless you're Seattle, you're built to work within your ballpark. And so there is an element in my estimation that the Guardians got to have some regression to the mean. The mean's 0 or 500, and they're 2 games south of that number right now. So in way I was looking at this game, I thought Sagano's struggling at best. We got Bybee, who's been playing better, and a team that's due to come back at home. Now we're getting that weather where it's getting nice, it's warm, the ball's going to travel a little bit, and guess who's now knocking on the door of wake the fuck up? It's Jose Ramirez. 300 since the All-Star break. Remember, he was supposed to play. He decided not to play in the home run derby. Caminero gets the shot. He pulls out. He's come back. He's hitting 300. He's got a 1.317 OPS. Hits, runs, RBIs, home runs. There's a reason that he made the parlay today. I like it. I think it's a good spot for us here. It's not my favorite play on the card here. I just prefer to get more invested in the in the Cleveland Guardians than I do. I just can't back Sagano. I mean, that's what it comes down to for me. Shout out to Dabby Cab in the chat. I see you, my guy. Hope you're doing well. 4.01 ERA on the road. He did, however, have a pretty nice start the last time. Went 7 innings as well. I always look for that depth. I think a lower scoring game, not really putting my neck on the chopping block by saying that a lower scoring game seems in order for these two teams, but I like it. I think it's a good look. I think it's a good opportunity for us to get paid. Let's go to this game here. This is another, is this 640? Yeah, 645 here. So right to it. Talked so much about my disdain for the Miami spot today that I ran out of time to get involved in some of these spots. So, excuse me. I'm going to take the Cincinnati Reds. Start this thing off by giving you the answer to the test before we start talking about some of the questions. As we look at it here, we've got a minus 120 now, starting to move a little bit in that Reds direction. This is late movement because about 25 minutes before the start of the show, it was still sitting at minus 120. And you have 73% of the bets and 79% of the cash on the Cincinnati Reds. Total's not moving. It's sitting at 9, 89% of the bets, 90% of the cash on this Reds. Brady Singer will get the bump and the start for the Cincinnati Reds. Jake Irvin will trot his ass out there for the Washington Nationals. Nationals, speaking of home versus road teams, 19-30 at home. Maybe worse than the Miami Marlins when it comes to the NL East. I might have underestimated the Miami Marlins, and despite being inept and mediocre, the Nationals might just be that much worse. But look, I'll give you guys the short answer to this one here. You know we're going to fade the Nationals in the first game of a series. A lot of under trends. And a lot of this, to me, points to Brady Singer. Brady Singer's got a nice little 10-0 under streak going right now. The Reds are 14-1 to the under following that one-run loss that we talked about yesterday, that 3-2 loss to the to the New York Mets. So Brady Singer shuts them down. The Reds continue to stay under after one-run games. Maybe it's because their bats kind of sputter and so on and so forth out there, but they have won 8 in a row in that spot where the one-run situation. To me, this, though, comes down to that fade. We talked about it. There's a couple of trends that popped themselves back up in play tonight that we're going to continue to ride. And fading the Nationals in game one against the AL is big business. It's 125-77 over the stretch. It's won 15 straight times. Fade the Nats, game one of a series against the AL. Why? They're the worst team in the NL East. Top to bottom. Bats to pitching, to bullpen, the GM, to the whole fucking process. The stadium, the parking lot, the traffic to get there, the temperature of the beer that they sell versus the other teams. Everything about it says fade the Nationals at home in game one, especially when they're playing the AL East. And we're getting Brady Singer on the bump here in a spot that I think is a good look and opportunity for this guy. Yeah, I mentioned his unders. I mentioned his little streak out there. How about this one too? If you got the Reds as away favorites on less than 4 days rest, they're 18-2. They're a favorite for a reason. They've won 10 in a row in those spots. So we got a 15 straight win trend. We got a 15 straight win trend that says fade the Nationals. And we got a 10 straight win trend that says take the Reds. Look at the under. Why stop there? Why not look at the under? I may have parlayed all those sides and totals together for a parlay as long as my arm. In fact, DraftKings doesn't want to pay out more than $250K on it. So I'm just letting you guys know where my action is as far as how I see these games. That's what we do here. Gerald Jones likes the over 9 in this game, however. Nathan Cerner likes the Cubbies. Skunk Blasters on the O's. Okay. There we go. Let's go. Let's keep her moving. Let's talk about this. This game here. This game here. This game her. The Angels and the Mets will pop off here, and we've got ourselves considerable movement against this. We got a little reverse line movement here. The Mets started at plus 108. They're now plus 102. Actually, I guess it's not reversed. Let me scratch that and take it back. 53% of the bets and 55% of the cash. Oh, what am I doing? I'm looking at the wrong side. Oh, sorry. A couple of these. I don't normally like to play that. You guys know my deal. I don't like to play these 645 games because of the rush to get them in there. But I thought I saw a couple tonight that made a lot of sense to get invested in. So that's why we had a couple of them tonight. Otherwise, winnables where you'll find the early action. Minus 192 now, minus 178, 15-cent dip against the New York Metropolitans. 84% of the bets, 83% of the cash on the Mets. It's Kodai Senga going to the bump out there against Tyler Anderson. Tyler Anderson struggling to find wins, 2-6 with a 4.34 ERA. Total at 8.5, 82% of the bets, 80% of the cash on the over. Kodai Senga, 1.39 ERA. Is that sustainable? That's the question you have to ask yourself here. And it's even better at home. He's a sub 1 at home. Hard not to like what you're seeing there. I'll tell you this, Cliff Notes here. Senga 18-3 to the under when he's in that favorite role north of a minus 130. Kodai Senga pitches a gem, shoves a gem. I'm going to give you another little look here. Gave this one out over on Winnable earlier this afternoon. Take the Angels. That's right. Big dog. We'll add these guys to the list. Let's take a look at what the number is right now. Let me take a peek. And it's not just because Redbeard talked about my it's not just because Redbeard talked shit about my Phillies. No, you guys know I like the revenge position. The only problem is when a team has the Mets number, they have the Mets number. And that's what this situation presents itself with here tonight. The Mets, when they're a big favorite, over a minus 140 favorite, and they're in a revenge spot, they're 0-7. When a team's got their number, they can't find a way out of the paper bag. And they struggle against lefties. If they're playing if they're against a lefty after a lefty, they're 0-5. Think about it. We talk about it. Less than 18% of the league has left-handed pitchers out there. The ball comes in with a different curvature and rotation and spin rate. And so your lack of familiarity against there traditionally doesn't show success. Then you follow it back up the next game, you're still not having success. It's not like you got more at-bats, so you're doing any better. You just can't hit lefties. They're just not built to hit lefties. And then last but not least, you got the Angels in a Monday position. They're 9-0. They're 9-0 on Mondays against teams that score a lot of runs, and they're covering. They're winning by over 2.5 runs a game. I'll double dip it. I got the Angels money line. I gave that out earlier today on Winnable. Plus one, I think it was 160 when I gave it out. It's 155s that are out there. Now there's some 150s, 152s. DraftKings is down to a 149. And the under. Taking the under as well. The Sangai spot there. I think this, we saw the Mets yesterday with that, what was it? What did I say? It was 3-2. Tied it up 2-2. And then, irregardless. Used to work with a guy that said irregardless all the time. I felt like there was too many negatives in there, says. Oh, J Main done took that under. The games will have started by then. I don't traditionally like to give out a minus or a plus 250K parlay. It was like $1.25 to let me get on. I do that every day. Hit me up on X if you're interested in my parlay. I think the max spots you could bet was 20 on DraftKings. So I do it every day. Try to anyways. I don't mind throwing a buck out there. What are you going to do? $1.50? Win $250,000. You're going to sit there and go, why did I put it on more books? I'll tell you what, though, FanDuel has got no problem paying out over. FanDuel don't mind paying out up to $1 million. The Royals and the Cubs game had me. It had me, I guess is the best way I'll say it. The money's moving towards the Cubs. 84% of the bets and 90% of the cash on the Cubbies. Remember we talked about the Cubs. When they lose a game and then play an afternoon game, at home they win. In general, they win. So keep our eyes on that because that, we're going to come up to Wednesday and Thursdays and Fridays should be some afternoon games. We were waiting for them to take an L. I don't know if it's today or not, though. I was looking at this team. I was looking at the way this kind of matchup ticked off, if you will, when you're looking at it here. And these fucking Guardians, man. 1-0 already. Goddamn Guardians. I'll tell you who's going to end up on the shit list is the Guardians if they don't pull this game out. That is a guarantee. A guarantee. A couple things that got me going today. I can't believe people listen to these channels that put out plays and they don't play them. I'm going to tell you this. There was one particular spot that I was doing some stretching. I told you these hips might not lie, but they got some rust on them. So I was getting up this morning doing my morning routine. And I heard broke this game down, didn't play it, And I lost. So I'm glad I didn't play it. But I gave it to you guys on a video. What? You gave out a play? What? What? I preface this on every show saying, this is my card. People, I used to question why guys would say, well, I'm playing these bets. I guess there's people out there that don't. So why are you listening to people that aren't betting the plays that they're giving you on video is a question that I'll never understand. And then I heard same channel, different guy lying. Straight up lying. I told you I have a fucking mind like a steel trap. Dude told a story about his buddy betting team totals. 3 weeks later, the story shifted and he's the one betting team totals. Where is the integrity? Man. Last but not least, another guy on that same channel broke this game down calling Noah Cameron Nick Cameron. So that was a moratorium on that channel. Noah Cameron is the left-handed pitcher. We've been talking about this guy since his very first start. Ryan Brazier will be going on the other side of things here for the Chicago Cubbies. I like Noah Cameron. We've been talking about this. We've been picking on his strikeout props. He's been going deep. He went 6.2 innings. He got hit 7 times. He pitches to contact, but he did not allow any runs. Matter of fact, in his last 3 games, he's only allowed 2 runs. That was 1 game against the Pirates. They still won that game. And he beat the Mets on top of that. So back-to-back dubs for this young buck out there. 7 innings pitched. 7 innings pitched. He's getting better as he's going through the league out there. He kind of went through a rough spot. We kind of thought that might happen when the tape got out on him, and we were dialed in. 4 innings pitched in the Dodgers, 4.2 innings pitched in the Mariners. And he took those L's. He got hit in the 1 game. On the side of that, though, he's been playing pretty consistent. He's given up 2 or less hits each game. So I liked the Royals at first. But, you know, once bitten, twice shy, right? I told you guys on Saturday, I keep betting these fucking Royals. I didn't bet them yesterday. Yesterday, they finally won against Miami, at Miami. So they're coming into this thing with a travel spot. Leaving Miami, to me, is a little bit different a trip than heading to Miami, as we talked about with that Central or East Coast sides of things here. And the Cubs have been busting teams up, minus the last game against the Red Sox. Why'd they lose that game? Well, they shut the Red Sox out the game before. What happens after a team shuts a team out? That team that got shut out comes back and fires. Happened again. I'm not making it up. Literally, I show you guys every single time it happens. There's the situation. We're looking at a pitching side of things here, though, with Brazier. And it's going to get his first start. Relief pitcher. It's been going 1 inning. He's earned it. And this, frankly, the starting rotation needs a little support. They need a little break. So if they can get this guy to go 3, 4, 5 innings, I think they'll feel pretty darn good about the position that they're in. But for me, when it came down to this game, I just looked at the fact that, you know, yeah, the Cubs shut out. They kind of blew their load. The Cubs got hot after that All-Star break, no doubt. They were kind of struggling going into it. They took the break. They got the rest. They shut the Kansas City Royals. I'm sorry, they shut out 6-0 the Boston Red Sox. But they're still not scoring a ton of runs. They lost 2-0. They got shut out to Houston. Guess what happens after a team shuts out? They went out there and shut out Cleveland 1-0. Then they shut a team out. They got beat up the next game. They did score 6 runs. They only scored 2 runs the game after that. So I do think lower scoring. I like Noah Cameron on the bump for Kansas City. Hopefully he gets us going 6-7 again out there, and this thing stays lower scoring. It's Wrigley. We know Wrigley has a propensity for lower scores when they have the lowered number. Irish King says that yeah, dude, that's the story of my life, though. You know, that's why I'll run a team back 2 or 3 times. Sometimes you'll hear me say, I got my money out of that series. I don't need to bet it anymore because there's plenty of series to go back to. But 3-0 now, the O's busting them boys up. I got 2 more plays, 2 more games for you guys, and then a parlay to wrap this thing up. We're back to it. 18 straight wins. Maybe you know the trend. We talked about it on Saturday. And it's the under in this A's and Texas Rangers game. Now, full disclosure, the entire planet is on the Oakland Athletics today, or the Nomad. I call them the Nomad Athletics. The reason I call them the Nomad Athletics, I told you guys this before. You know what a Nomad Lion is? A Nomad Lion is a lion that doesn't have a home. And that's what we see ourselves with here in the Athletics. The West Sacramento Athletics do play better on the road than they do play at home. But you know me, I'm not taking the Athletics when they're in the favorite position. Now, they're not entirely in the favorite position, but Jesus, look at these splits. 71% of the bets are on the Rangers. 88% of the cash on the Athletics. The lines come down 25 cents. I mean, it's almost even money. Total started at 9. Spent all afternoon at 8.5. Recently has taken a little zip on down to the 8ville. 84% of the bets and 85% of the cash are on the over in this spot. Interesting note. Leiter and Lopez will get the start. I see all this Athletics love. I get it. You guys know the deal. It's the home favorite angle. If the Rangers are a favorite below minus 160 at home, they've won 18 straight times. The under, I should say. The under's won 18 straight times. Whoa, big point of clarification there. The under has cashed 18 straight times. And I think that's the trend that we're going to have to continue to ride here. Now, when they play the AL, they play the American League, they're 21-1 to the under. And series openers lend themselves to unders. 13-2-2 to the under for the Texas Rangers. They've won 9 of their last 10. They've won 6 in a row to that under. Under. The entire planet can take their fucking Oakland Athletics. I'll tell you what. Once bitten, twice shy. I took a little sprinkle on the Athletics yesterday. Guess what didn't go so well? The Athletics game. Busted up 8-2 against that shitty Guardian squad. Amazing. Can't get involved with them. I do know they like to play better on the road. I get it. I get why you guys like, not you guys, but why Twitter's in love with this Athletics squad here, especially the Sunday night angle. You know, the team that just played Sunday night, now playing here today. Low time to recharge, reset. Now you're playing a team in, you know, the Athletics that have had some time to travel. Not big travel either. Cleveland to Texas. Head on south, boys. Get the plane in the air and head south. You'll be there in a couple hours. But I can't touch the side. You know, and again, maybe this is part of where my feet get taped to the pedals. When I see everybody on it, I'm like, I'm not, you know. When we were kids, we used to go bridge jumping. And people would say, if everybody was jumping off a bridge, would you do it? And I said, that depends on if there's water underneath it or not. But in this case here, I can't tell everybody in what's going on here with this. I can't do it. Won't do it. I think the lines move past the value in the Athletics to get involved in this thing here. But we're seeing the movement. 8s. 8.5s from the 9, the original 9 out there. I like it. I think it's a good opportunity for us to get involved in this. Jump in. There's the Nationals on the board now as well. All right, let's go last game, and then we'll give this parlay, and we'll get up out of here. The Brewers, the Mariners, popping off here with some strong trendage as well on this side of the house. There you go. It's a double dipper. I like this Brewers team at plus money here. They just downed. They just hammered. You know, let this be a lesson to said one and all. Just because the team's facing a sweep doesn't mean they're not getting swept. Look at this Dodgers team. Look at this Nationals team. Look at the Dodgers team before it. The Milwaukee Brewers are on absolute fucking fire right now. 62% of the bets, 71% of the cash are on the Brewers. Good enough for me. Plus 105 in this spot here. It's oscillating. It's gone up a penny on the Brewers. It's come down 2 cents on the Mariners. 3 straight series sweeps. They also beat that Marlins team 2-1 in that series when the Marlins were on that winning 10-12 straight win spot. Brewers. Woodruff. Jorge Kirby on the other side of things. Woodruff's got a 2.61 ERA. Jorge Kirby's got a 4.5 ERA. You don't want to be in the Jorge Kirby business. He's 0-7 non-divisional home games after he allowed more than 3 runs. In other words, when Jorge Kirby gets struggling, it strings together in bunches, as you know I've talked about with these trends and these patterns. Teams win in bunches, they lose in bunches. Pitchers win in bunches, they lose in bunches. The stats matter. You got to look at some of these spots out there, and for Jorge Kirby, it matters. Also, the Brewers are 11-0 if they're playing teams that allow runs. If they gave up 7 or more runs the last game, the Brewers are 11-0. And if they're in the dog position, or I'm sorry, if they were in the dog position the previous game, the Brewers are 11-0 there as well. The thing is, it's that margin of victory. Wrong team favored is what this trend tells us here. When they are playing after being a dog, they are 3.6 runs per game over the dub, meaning they could potentially be in a position to win this game by 4 runs. Also jumped in on the under. So, initially this morning I liked, here's how this came to be for me. On Winnable, I gave out the under 7 this afternoon. It was this afternoon. It dropped to 6.5 before the show started. I love that trends for the Milwaukee side of things. And they're just beasting everybody right now. Plus, Seattle's playing at home. You didn't have to twist my arm very much to fade Seattle playing at home. You guys have heard me rant about they're not built properly to play in this ballpark. So I got Milwaukee. And then I took this 6.5 and I moved it up to 8. Kind of doubled down here, if you will, with that Milwaukee side of things and the lower scoring game of the under 8. So need Milwaukee to win this game. Preferably 6-1. Shut this Mariners side of this house down. 5-1, 6-1. Just don't get to 8. And even if they do get to 8 and it's a total of 8 and that pushes, then we'll still win the Brewers side of things again. So there'll be 2 wins on the Brewers as long as the Brewers can do the job that they need to do to get this thing done. Last play I've got for you guys is a little hodgepodge here. It's a little grandma's wearing your sister's panties play of the day. Jerry Davis already on the Milwaukee +1 in the under 8. A says Twins or LA? Under. Tampa, St. Louis, Arizona. I mentioned this here really quick. I'll give you guys the quick rundown. Shout out to Gorky with the $2 dono. He says Giants money line. For our Canadian brother, Gorky, checking in with the Giants money line. Tampa Bay's in a 21-0. Well, I should say the White Sox are in an 0-21 position. Cardinals are playing the Colorado Rockies. The Colorado Rockies just won a series out there. Do you want to play them twice? The reason that that if you're looking at this line saying, why is this Cardinals line so low? It's because McGreevy is getting the start. McGreevy's 1-1. Michael McGreevy for the St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah, these pitchers going out to Coors for the first time can be a problem. His first start, he went 5 innings. He only got hit 3 times. He only gave up 1 earned run. See if he can go out there and show out in that position. Also, they're in a 13-0 position for the St. Louis Cardinals. And then last but not least, the Arizona Diamondbacks against the Astros. I think the Astros are fundamentally flawed right now. I don't think that's a team I want to be invested with here. I know Zach Gallen's trying to bounce his ass back after kind of some beat up spots out there. His last game was fucking horrible. I jumped in on the Diamondbacks yesterday on the first 5. I had them -0.5. And they just looked so damn good early, man. They were just connecting. They're seeing the ball great. This happens. They'll go in waves at home, especially at home where we can see some runs. And I just think that the Astros have shown that they can't keep up. I like this opportunity. I think it's a good bounce back spot for Zach Gallen against a team that in the Astros has been suspect. So that's the way we're going to get her done. Ramirez, how about that, boys? Let's go. Let's get her going. Let's put the bow on the show that way, you guys. I appreciate you all coming in, checking us out here tonight. Lots of things happening here at Sports Money. We're getting ready for the season of production. We're going to have ourselves Tuesdays with Dana White Contender Series. MMA Jeff and I will pop that off for you guys. We've got ourselves an opportunity to go out there and do some Thursday night football. We're going to bring that back. Nobody does it better here live than we do on Thursday nights. We've got Saturdays with UFC. We've got primetime NFL coming up. It's only 45 days away. Going to give you guys a whole bunch of bets, options, shows, broadcast, updates. We're going to bring in more behind the counter action. You guys get ready. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this content tonight. Make sure you do smash that thumbs up if you did like what you're hearing. Leave a comment after the show. Tell me if you're tailing. Tell me a spot you have that we didn't get a chance to talk about, but tell me something in those comments. And let's get to it. You guys know the deal. 9 a.m. the morning steam pops off. If you're looking to get a start on your UFC Abu Dhabi card, it's an early Saturday card, by the way. Going to start the first fight at 12 p.m. Eastern. You know we were firing. Well, we win 3-4. I think we almost swept the pre-prelim card. Man, it was a fun Saturday here, but early Saturday means that we get ourselves a nice little evening, and we're going to earn some money to go out for a nice dinner. So that'll be at noon. But you can catch VB MMA Picks and Ramon Scott giving a breakdown this afternoon. They get it out there. 3 best bets for you guys to consider. 3-man panel sharing their plays, and we'll be back on Wednesday to give you guys first strike. We went 2-1 this past week, up 1.85 units as well. Things are starting to come together. Thank you guys all on behalf of the Sports Money crew. Good luck with your bets. Thank you guys for being a part of our community. And we'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place.